We need to start the fire inside our Horno, and the way you ignite it is just like a bonfire. If you can light that, then you can light this. So there are some large pieces of firewood at the bottom and lots of small wood at the top, and there can hardly be too much inside. Just go ahead and fill it up. And it's important that the fire is allowed to burn through for about half an hour, and then we're ready. We just need to add some more sticks, then we'll have a nice bottom and coals. It's important that you don't burn using pine. There's lots of resin in pine and that turns into poisonous steam. Like that. Just 15 more minutes, then we're ready. There's a very good pile of coals in here now. It's looking good inside the oven, and it's given off a bit of steam, which is completely normal. But now we're actually ready to bake pizzas or make all kinds of other food on it. It's a nice heat. Hi everyone, today we're going to make delicious summer pizzas in a real wood-fired oven. And we'll just start with a nice little pizza dough here, made from some flour and semolina. And semolina is this coarse durum wheat that I'm using here, which has a nice high protein content, so that you get a good strong dough that you can make really thin. And I'm just going to start rolling it in semolina too, so that it gets extra crispy. And then I use the rolling pin to give it the right shape, like this. And then it just needs to be massaged out, all the love you have in your arms. Just about 30 centimeters. And a good pizza consists of 3 basic elements that you must be careful with. They're good dough, tomato sauce that actually tastes of tomatoes, and fresh mozzarella. Don't use grated cheese. Fresh mozzarella. Remember, with pizzas, less is more, so don't pile it up with toppings. It just gets messy, and we want the crispy crust and bottom. And then mozzarella. And for a pizza of this size, you need about half a mozzarella of 125 grams. That's a normal size that you get from Brooks & Grocery Store. And since it's a summer pizza, I'm thinking some asparagus. Some fresh asparagus on top. Asparagus actually does well with a bit of fat, so this mortadella, Italian sausage, goes right on top. Perhaps some fresh tomatoes, just to keep it a bit Italiano, and then some smoked cheese. This one is without caraway seeds. A very mild smoked cheese that gives a light smoky taste and a creamy consistency on the pizza. Then we finish off with a tiny bit of olive oil, just to make Mama happy at home in Italy. Now we need to put it in the oven. I just need to make the oven ready for it. I've heated the oven up for half an hour to an hour so that it gets the perfect heat for the pizza. Then we just need to push the coals back like this. Then it's ready to be put in the oven. Now we bake it for about 2.5 minutes, and then we just need to remember to turn the pizza and bake it for 2.5 more. So about 5 minutes when the oven is piping hot like this, and it must be if we want that good crispy pizza. Like that. So in order for it to be a real Danish summer asparagus pizza, I've also peeled some asparagus, just using a potato peeler, marinated in salt, pepper, olive oil and lemon juice. Then we get that fresh asparagus taste here. And I can't help myself with this. Cress. How's that for nostalgia? You're back in grandmother's garden cottage. Bam! Some cress, and then it's done. And there you go. Bon appetit! Now we're going to start with some wonderful Danish langoustines, real genuine summer food, and we're going to put them on a Tuscan grill rack for the Horno. And so we'll start by putting it in so that it gets nice and hot. I've prepared my langoustines by cutting off the carapace on the back. And then we grill them whole so that you hold on to the juice and intensity of this wonderful food. They just get 5 minutes where you give them a bit of salt and sugar. That means that we salt the langoustines a bit. Like this. Yeah, so we're just waiting for it to get hot and then we'll start grilling. Just pull it so that you don't burn your hands in there. So now it's ready for us to slap those guys on. I've placed it with the head facing the center. That's where it's the hottest. That's the thickest part. It must have the most heat. And for us, our langoustine nerds, we like to sit and dig the guts out. So that must of course also be ready. And then we just push it in under the coals again. Now they're almost done. 3 to 5 minutes. No more when it's such a delicate food like langoustines. Like that. Now they're done. They just turn firm, but they're almost dripping juice and intensity. It's simply such a wonderful food. And this, you just serve it with lemon. And I've made a mango salad for this. A bit sweet and sour. And it gives a nice balance and character to the langoustines. So this is real summer food as I see it. Easy, quick, and simple. There, bon appetit. The grill Horno behind me here is a very flexible tool in your outdoor kitchen. Not only can you smoke in it, you can braise in it if you're using a small cocotte like this. You can grill ordinarily with direct heat, and you can also use a frying surface here. So there's lots of possibilities for changing. On top of that, it's also possible to stoke around the piece and get more indirect heat on the food. And then last but not least, it's one of the few grills where you can actually use both briquettes or coal, as you'd normally do, but you can also use firewood. And that just turns it into a fun and flexible solution for your outdoor kitchen. So have fun with it once you get started. Now we're going to make a dish fit for a king, cider braised lamb shank, and we're going to make it in the grill Horno behind me. We'll start by grilling the lamb shanks, so we need lots of vegetables up in our cocotte. And then it really just needs to sit there while we make our fire next door and drink some good red wine. So let's get started with it. First, our lamb shank, 1 per person, and we just start by salting them a bit. Give them some pepper, and a tiny bit of olive oil. I've heated the Horno up well, it's quite hot, and now we just have to put them inside. You can also put your carrots in there, if there's still space, and put them in between, and then give them some heat. It releases the sweetness in the carrots so that they can take some time too. And meanwhile, we'll just chop up some shallots. Our garlic, just coarse, like this. Just mix this with the tomatoes and then down, and just make a bottom that the lamb can rest on. Then we'll just take some and save a bit to put on top. Like that. Look, see how beautiful this is. Very, very nice, golden roasted, and that's what opens all the meat flavors, which I keep on saying. And it's also just caramelized our carrots a little. It's only to enhance the flavor. So just the last stuffing on top here. Like that. Bayberries too. Wow. And that sweetness from the cider, a bit acidic and alcohol at the same time, it will give a wonderful balance. Just like that, and now it's ready to go in. In an hour, hopefully an hour and a half, the meat should fall from the bone, and we'll have the loveliest braised juice in the bottom of the pot. And then we just have to make some sides. And then that's food fit for a king. Now it's just been over an hour. Let's have a look at the lamb and see how it is. This smell here, it's amazing. Yum. Grr. Like that. And then you can carefully feel if it's loosened, and this here is just so tender. And down there we have the most wonderful braised juice, which just tastes out of this world. So let's put the cover on again. Then it'll keep the heat while we make some sides, because we can't just have this. Now I'm just going to move the coals down to the bottom, so I have some direct heat up on my grill plate here. Now we'll start chopping a little summer cabbage. I'm just making some wedges here. Like that, now they're ready. And split some spring onions and just take the largest at the top here. Just a couple of pieces. Like that. But let's just check it out. Our grill plate really is not ready. Then we can start making the sides for the lamb. And it has a nice lovely heat. Bit of oil. Bit of our small delicate mushrooms on this. Some of our onions up here. And some of our cabbage here. Just a shot more of oil. And a pinch of salt. Then we shove it back in again. Now it just needs 2-3 minutes on the one side here, and then I'll turn it just 180 degrees, then 2-3 more minutes. Now I just have to make sure that we have some fresh herbs to sprinkle and mix with everything. Then some broadleaf parsley, that'll be the vegetables. And we'll give the lamb some sage. Sage and lamb, they really go well together. There, that's wonderful. Now it's nice and hot on the grill pan, and that's why I give it a bit of white wine, and it'll almost evaporate right away. Then these vegetables will be a bit white wine steamed vegetables. And so that it won't be all too meager, we'll just give it a shot of cream when the wine is evaporated a bit. Then the parsley. Summer food is herb food in my book. You just need tons of fresh herbs. And now we just need to release the splendors of the lamb and give it a shot of sage. There, just turn it around so that you grab hold of all the bones. Like that. Some salt on this guy here, some salt on him there. Like that. Cider braised lamb shank on the grill Horno, and then our summer vegetables, slightly roasted with a bit of cream. Bon appetit! Now we're going to make some hot smoked salmon on our Horno. And we start with a nice big piece of salmon, which we start to salt. Bit of salt and sugar, equal parts, just enough so that it draws some fluid and gets into the meat, and gets into the flavour. So I think that's it, very nice, to give it some lemon zest. Remember to use organic lemons, which haven't been sprayed. And then when it's in season, we just give it some ransom to give it some company. Otherwise, some chives, some dill, whatever you think is a good herb for salmon. So now the salmon has absorbed the ingredients and been placed on our grill grate here. Now we're going to start smoking. And we just remove the fire here so that we don't grill our salmon but smoke it. In. And then have a good handful of smoke dust. Lid on. And a damp rag up on the top here so that we really get the smoke concentrated around the piece, around the salmon. Do yourself a favour and just smell the smoke. If it smells very burnt, and then it will become bitter, and then the oven's probably too hot. So then you have to wait a bit. There, now we've developed a nice mild smoke, smells wonderfully aromatic of smoke, not burnt, so this is perfect. Now it's been 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll just check if our salmon's almost done. Wow, the smoke is still doing excellent. Like that. It's just beautiful. Beautiful golden colour, lovely smoked salmon. It's still juicy and delicious, but it has that delicate smoke tinge that it also has on the surface, as you can see. With this salmon, I serve a small potato salad made from new potatoes. Lots of herbs, preferably lovage and potatoes are a perfect combo. Lots of radishes, a small drop of cream so that we have something to show for it, and lots of cottage cheese. Super easy, super simple, a fantastic compliment to the salmon here. Enjoy, all of you out there. We're going to get started on a dessert, actually my favourite panic dessert, a kind of Tata Tata with rhubarb. But we start by grabbing a refractory baker, something that can handle heat, because it'll be put above the fire here, and some cane sugar or sugar, and we'll just caramelise it right to bring out the flavour. And while it does that, we'll start getting our rhubarb ready. This is some nice, lovely Danish rhubarb. Just cut off the ends and the tops, like this, then just give them a couple of coarse chops. Of course, I just rinse the rhubarb first, like this. And rhubarb and vanilla have a very special love relationship, so just a vanilla pod, where we just remove the seeds and stir them into the rhubarb. It basically brings out everything, all the sweet flavours. So just work it around, spread out the vanilla, all over. Make sure you keep an eye on the sugar here, as that's what is closest to the fire now. It caramelizes first, so that's why I'm just turning it halfway here. That's right, very nice. Get it in there. Wow, that was really hot. Now the sugar has melted and we can fill the rhubarb into it. And be careful, because the sugar, it's extremely hot. And then we just give it a little bit of butter, just a couple of slices. And then we finish off by putting a little bit of butter dough on the top. Give it a couple of holes so it can breathe. It's ready to go in. And hopefully finish off the evening in a good way. Let's have a look in 10 minutes. We'll just give it the last minute here on the other side. Then our Tata Tata is just about done. So I'll quickly mix up a quick dessert cream. Some mascarpone, a little bit of sugar, a tiny bit of vanilla, and some lemon zest. Then you have the fat, you have that filling from the vanilla, a bit of sweetness from the sugar, and then the acid from the lemon zest. And to mix it into a cream so that it doesn't clump completely, we'll give it a tiny bit of cream, which actually thins the mascarpone, which is much, much fattier than cream. Now, I never said that it was a healthy dessert. Now it's done. And I think we are very, very close to a Tata Tatin. Just over 10 minutes after we put it in, look at that. Normally, you just let it sit and rest for a moment, but there's no reason for you to wait. A good dollop of mascarpone cream, and... oh, this tastes wonderful. A quick rustic summer dessert when you start to panic and have forgotten it. Have fun and enjoy. Now we're going to start trying to smoke our forno. Oh, and it's a kind of a question of making sure that there's not too much fire. The oven should be thoroughly hot, but there shouldn't be too many flames, because then we won't get the smoke to develop. And we start by moving the heat around at the back of the oven and kind of in a half circle, so we get a good even heat, but not too much. Then we insert our grill rack. Then you take a good handful of smoke dust and toss it over the closest coals. Like this. You can already see the smoke developing here. It's very strong. Then we take our lid. So in addition to this, what you also do is place a moist towel on top here. In doing so, you concentrate the smoke. It's very, very easy and easy to get to. And then we can all smoke in there.